Hey! Oh,
hey, everybody.
One of the best starts
Welcome to the Download Youth Ministry Web Show, episode number 249. Doug Fields here with my friends and ex-friend, Matt McGill, but my current friends, Josh Griffin and Katie Edwards.
Who's your ex-friend? Me?
Yeah.
What are you talking
You're
about?
a skinnier friend than you've been in a long time.
Yeah.
That is for sure.
Lordy.
How much are you down?
27.
27.
Those horizontal
28.
stripes say, good job.
Thank you.
That's
right. 2 months ago, they were screaming, but now they're just kind of moaning.
Yeah. No, you've done a good job. I'm proud of you. We need to get maybe a new shirt instead of sorry you got canned. Sorry to see the weight go. I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't wait for our DYM members to get the photo. We have, Katie.
I don't think it's that good.
It's funny.
We have
Is it
legacy.
funny?
We have what we call a legacy member. Anybody who's a member for a first year at DYM. Then
Early
we have
adopters.
we have legacy/early adopters. These are the people that they said we trust you right out of the gate. Boom.
Yeah.
Like it.
Yeah.
And
So it's like different levels of heaven. Legacy is the very first, bestest people.
That's where Abraham
No,
is.
early adopters are
the best.
Legacy/early adopters. Anyway, Matt,
it's one
Matt'll
group.
join the company one of these days.
Okay.
But
just here for the ministry.
we've given them perks for year 2. They're getting a T-shirt. They're getting a very fun certificate.
they're already getting
getting
incredible
all kinds
amounts
of
of
stuff.
stuff.
They're getting an 8x10 of Matt,
Oh.
and you got to see this picture.
Is it full, like,
It's full
body?
McGill.
Full
or just
body.
face?
No, full body.
Full
body.
presentation.
Full
of
body.
our
We
friend
got to
McGill.
save this prize
Yeah,
because we
once
haven't.
again, just selling
can't
my
wait to
soul
see
for
it.
humor.
It is inspiring and majestic.
You
Take it off
love
here. Take
it.
it off here.
And he does love it.
You love it.
I love it.
Hey, Matt
You
spoke
love it.
in our high school ministry night before
How
Yeah,
last.
do you know my
ridiculous
daughter
was
was in
that?
there?
She was?
He
Yeah.
did a great job. I'm
She
telling you.
loved it.
One of the kids sent me a text message. He's like, "That was the best message I ever heard. Plus, I'm a little ADD, so it was perfect."
That's
It was
good.
Oh,
the
I didn't know
best.
she was in
Oh,
there.
yeah, she's
Oh.
HSM is her.
Her
Yeah,
thing.
she came
Jam.
home from
her
Josh's high
jam.
school camp, and
She's
she's like,
in.
"Mom, I don't want to hurt your feelings, but I don't want to be a junior high pastor anymore. I want to be a high school."
After 2 months. That's perfect.
Totally.
She's amazing.
Junior high
It
ministry.
was
But
such a good
she
camp.
loved your
Amazing midweek. Matt brought it. It was great.
It was not great. It was good.
Not true.
It was good.
Not true.
It was
3 times during it, I was like, "Oh, that's really good. It's really good."
Yeah, I was a little tied to my notes, but I did go off on just full-on McGill's story tangents, and then at one point I ended up calling life groups life cults, and that
Life
really went
cults
over.
was hilarious. We're trying to get kids to sign up for small groups right now. And
Yeah.
So I'm like, hey,
Yeah,
let's
so
do
I
it.
was trying to
he
push
calls
it.
them life cults, and everyone just dies
lost
laughing.
it.
It becomes this thing. At the end, we're just like, don't forget to sign up for a life cult. They're like, "Ah." We should buy lifecults.com and see. I'd assume it's
Yeah,
not taken.
seriously.
You better do it after the show.
Yeah.
Before this goes live.
know.
Which,
Yeah.
by the way, we've been talking about.
Life cults.
We haven't run it by Katie yet because we don't see
Oh.
Katie as much.
I
But
know. I wish.
we're
happening
talking about DYM members going live like a half hour early with them, and then recording
Special
the show.
question answer time
Based
just
on today,
for.
that would have been
Yeah.
dangerous.
I
That
was
was a crazy.
blushing as we went live.
Yeah,
today with
this
our
was the one.
conversation.
The title of this one is the one where Katie was blushing.
Yeah. That would be a lot of fun.
This is
Cool.
from our friend Mark Eads. Just want
Oh.
to send a quick note to say I had a wonderful experience at the Student Leadership Conference in Indiana.
Awesome.
The messages, the leadership exercises, hanging out with you guys at Buffalo Wild Wings, and all the new ideas you gave my middle school kids was magnificent.
That's
Well,
cool.
okay, without having to explain what celibacy is to a bunch of middle schoolers, that was a little over the top. I had a nice talk with my high school youth pastor, and I believe we'll be bringing 2 groups to next year's Student Leadership
great.
Conference, a middle school group and a high school group.
That's
rad.
awesome.
So anyway,
He's a good dude.
he's great. He's wonderful. He's a sharp thinker. I think I mentioned on the show last time or the time
Junior
before
high
that
ministry lifer too.
his volunteers had to nominate.
I like
Oh,
that.
yeah.
If
I
a
thought
kid
that was a
got
cool
if a
idea.
kid got 2 nominations, they were invited to student leadership.
Yeah.
Anyway, I brought this up because we know that our East Coast student leadership, we're not in a big enough facility. We've got at least one more year there with them. So if you're a regular and you're on the East Coast and you want to go, you better sign up quick because that one's going to sell out. The dates are on studentleadershipconference.com.
Hey,
Awesome,
and
the
this
best.
this reminds me. I'm not going to say this person's name, but I will forward it around because it's somebody we know. They came back from this, and 3 days later, their job was cut. And they had been at the
Really?
at the church for a very long time, and we know. I mean, you know who he is. But just what a total drag, you come back from a really great
on a
week,
high
a
of
total
it,
high,
yeah.
and you've been, and,
Way to turn the show depressing too.
Yeah.
well, real life isn't always grins and giggles.
And hence, sorry
That's
you
right.
got canned. Maybe you should send him one of your shirts.
Yeah, and sign it.
That is so
with
mean.
a picture.
Speaking of mean,
No, it'll make him laugh.
That's
because
true.
it's from
Laugh
you.
at the pain.
yeah,
Because you know where he's. You
Yeah,
know
you
that.
know
yeah,
that
but he was
dark-
cut because of budget, right?
Yes.
You were cut because of performance.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, worse personality. Performance was fine. It was- what I'd like.
That's true.
What I'd like to say is I was cut because of integrity. Is what it really is. But you guys both died on that. It's beautiful.
That was,
I consider it a badge of honor. I don't know
It
what
it just hurt me. I'm not
No.
even honest. Oh.
Look,
Oh.
if you're gonna be who you're supposed to be, and someone else doesn't like that, it's their problem.
Sorry you got canned.
Yeah.
I like you.
Should we talk about our show sponsors? Our show is brought to you by, powered by Youth Specialties. We're very
Yes.
thankful for YS. Go to the National Youth Workers Convention. We'll all be there. We'll have a booth. It's going to be a great year. So we'll see you at YS.
And
also,
maybe a live podcast. We
I
don't
think
know
so.
yet.
I hope so.
In where are we doing one?
Sacramento and Atlanta.
I don't know that I'm going to Atlanta. Am I supposed to go to Atlanta?
You're supposed
Yeah.
to have already put this on your calendar.
Aren't we doing something together?
No, only in
Oh.
Sacramento. You
Oh.
guys are
Yeah, that's
doing
us in
the
Atlanta.
session. Yeah.
Atlanta.
Yeah, no, you're
Atlanta,
supposed to go.
yeah.
Matt,
Come
Well,
on.
really?
Matt.
Someone's got to tell me these
Someone's got
things.
to run the Down the Youth Ministry booth.
Yeah.
That person.
I'm the
is
booth
you.
babe. Is that what it
You're the
is?
booth
I'm
babe.
babe for the
You're going to
booth.
sign autographs.
You'll be down another 40 pounds.
By then, that's
Dude.
right.
Yeah.
So we're thankful for YS.
Mick
Student
B
Leadership
stands for
Conference
Mick
as
Booth.
well.
Yeah.
We'll have a lot of friends there. It'll be great.
Yeah.
As well as Leader
Excited.
Treks, Youth Ministry 360, and Azusa Pacific University. Thank you to our sponsors. Just
All of which
yeah.
those guys will be
Leader
there
Treks
as well.
came to 3 student leadership conferences, and they did a fabulous
They're
job. That
sharp.
was
We
And-
read
great.
about them today. I like
They
that.
have
We
really
did?
Yeah.
good stuff.
Yes.
We say that all the time, and every month they contribute to our membership by providing student leadership material.
The
So,
ridiculously
if-
priced membership.
yes, the cheapest, the greatest deal in the history of youth ministry.
That's what we do. Boom.
Josh and I are basically fighting Matt every week to keep the price down because Matt wants to raise the price.
Because
It's just,
$19.99.
wait,
'Cause
you
you
guys
guys
don't
have
have to
generous
pay
left
bills.
workers.
That's why. I mean, it's beautiful when you don't have to.
CFO
Yeah.
visionaries.
So, yeah.
Yeah, it's
I don't know what you're seeing, but
it's 20
Sorry,
bucks.
you got canned.
20 bucks a month. You get 20 bucks right back, and then you
in
get
credit,
And stuff.
8 other things.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
you get free texting. You get
Something
it's
from
great.
Orange is the mystery item of the month. It's good stuff.
Yep.
Anyhow.
Check it out. Let's talk
Check it
about bullying. This is from
Okay.
Nick Clausen. How do you handle bullying, especially from females?
Oh, let's just.
Being a male youth worker.
Like,
I'd have to
girls
watch
are
Mean Girls
bullying
again
him.
to
No.
really answer this question.
How do you handle bullying, especially from females? And this person is saying probably needs a comma, maybe ...
Yeah.
Being a male youth worker. Sorry, Katie.
Oh.
Thanks for all you do, Matt. You're a cult hero in our student ministry due to your
There's that
instructional
word cult
videos.
again.
There's that cult, life cults.
Lifecults.com. I own it.
Funny.
Hey, can you rank that?
I was gonna say.
Seriously, I
Well,
really
what made me
wanna own
think of that is
Lifecults.
if we do the live show, comments like that, people are gonna be like, just
Yep.
bought it.
Bought the domain. Done.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have a girl in your ministry who's bullying, but a male youth pastor.
So you
How
fight
do
fire
address
with fire. Bully her back.
Yeah, like,
No,
bite her
just
back or
kidding.
something.
Just
that? I like it. I like it.
find out her deepest secrets and then
Well,
tell everybody.
bullying
Yeah.
is a little bit of like kind of the talk of the last couple years. I feel like bullying
Yeah.
has been almost an accepted practice for a long time, like a rite of passage, etc. And so
No.
recently, no, I would
They're
say
ju- it's
it has been. It
I would
absolutely
say
has been.
bullying has evolved.
And now it
Like,
has a
some
label, and
things
it's
that are
Yeah,
wrong,
happening.
it's
and
got
there's
a label.
campaigns.
Yeah, there's
It's
definitely.
a
Yeah.
big deal now. Where I would say
Yeah.
20 years ago, bullying was like, no, it's called growing up. This
right.
is what happens.
It's called community accountability.
That's changed.
Yeah, so it's changed. So,
I was a little kid. My dad used to tell me, "Hey, you're at some point somebody older than you is gonna hit you right in the face." Well, I guess I'll learn then, Dad.
exactly.
No.
But I would
Just
say,
kidding. I'm
I-
totally being sarcastic, by the way. Just
We'd
for the
rather
record.
not do that. That's
Yeah.
not part of our show.
For me to be serious.
For you to be
Sarcastic.
Oh.
But I would say bullying is a legitimate issue.
It is.
Like I think it is easy to dismiss it, especially as adults, we go,
Yeah.
that's just what it's called growing up. Deal with it. But
Yeah.
I think if
It's like,
you
why are you
look
wearing
at
a
what's
seatbelt?
happening, I think if you look at what's happening, students are genuinely being hurt, wounded, making some terrible life decisions, or even ending their own life because bullying is legit. And there's new forms of bullying that have
Social
evolved
media.
that as well. Social media,
Cyberbullying.
cyberbullying, it's all real. So I think this is a legitimate issue. I guess what I'm trying to say is, over the last couple of years, was easy to dismiss this, and now that I've seen it firsthand and seen the pain of it, and I think it does have a little bit of a buzz factor to it, but I also think it's legit. So,
And
If
you
you
got
know who-
you
if
got
you
a
know
little
who it
grief
is.
this week too, right?
I did, yeah.
You had some parents come into your office.
But was
We had
that
some
that
parents-
wasn't bullying?
Well, we
was
actually
it?
had two separate bullying / initiation hazing.
Oh, really?
I would be
I thought they
careful
were
to use those
wrestling.
words in the conversation with parents, although describing it to youth workers, I think that would be the easiest way to describe it.
So with us, you'll tell us what it is, but with them,
No, I would just say I would choose different words.
There's
I would
always
choose
a lighter
honestly.
side.
there's always a lighter
So
side.
one of them was very easy. Some of our kids were from an area code, the 909 area code, which is it's just viewed with a little disreputation compared to Orange County. Orange County 949, whatever. So they were teased for being from the 909.
That's
And part of me was just like, hey, kids are dumb. This happens.
was
I'm
it
so
Kodo
sorry.
kids?
And probably, I don't know. But the other one was much more
that makes
serious.
me
The other
angry.
one was serious where a sophomore boy and a junior boy did some things to a couple freshman boys that were inappropriate, unacceptable, against the rules, and
Yeah.
they got into some very serious trouble. And it wasn't quite as like malicious, like we're targeting the freshmen.
Yeah. It was
But
just like
at the end of the day, it was older kids picking on younger kids.
got out of hand. It just
It got out of
escalated
hand.
too quick.
That's it.
But you were going to send them home, but the parents didn't. The parents of the affected kids said no, leave them there. I mean, it was a very cool situation.
It was awesome, but
Grace.
I came on so strong because
How
those
did you
kids
handle
were
the bullies?
bullying.
Like, what did you do?
I pulled them aside, got the story of what happened. They were super coy and not interested in giving out any details. So I just let them.
Coy means you don't talk about stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I thought coy
Even
meant
slightly
really honest.
deceptive. I think coy would work there.
Oh.
And so talked to other people that were involved in the situation, etc. And then said, and it was like 11 at night. I said, pack up your bags. Pack up your bags. We're going to the airport. They packed up their because we were in Phoenix, Arizona.
Yeah.
Which is a flight from home.
Short flight.
And they freaked out. Told me the rest of what happened. I said, great, go pack your bags.
No, even faster.
And fully intended to send them home. So the night, all the flights were gone for the day.
I was going to
so
say,
late.
until you realized you would have had to drive them home.
Exactly. You're going to drive 5 hours.
Maybe it wasn't so
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah, you know. It's not really hazing. Okay. If you see this, I'm sorry about that. So anyhow, it was. I kind of wanted to fight fire with fire. I'm going, if you're going to bully people, well, I'll show you what happens to bullies, and they go home.
Yeah.
And what is cool is I ended up talking to the parents of the freshmen that were involved, and they said if you can show them grace and not send them home, discipline them, tell their parents a little bit, but if you can keep
Corporal
them at
punishment.
camp, we would be thankful for that.
Katie, what about a girl is the bully? What do you do?
Yeah, well, I think, I don't know that it's different for girls and boys. I mean, I think you have to have, obviously direct conversations with the kids. I think trying to work around it or find a way for it to be easy, it's just not going to be easy. It's just hard conversations with kids and sometimes hard conversations with parents. One thing that I have noticed about other people that say, this girl is a bully, she's bullying me, it's interesting. Sometimes I find the bully doesn't know they're a bully, or
I can give testimony to that.
like the behavior. Not that student
They're just
doesn't
speaking
know
their mind, telling the
they're
truth.
not being intentionally mean. I just
helping
think
people be better.
sometimes I have that
Correcting
happen a lot
errors.
in junior high, where I think some of them have one incident with a student and then immediately it's like, she's bullying
Yeah,
me.
because
I
we
can't-
now have this label.
we jump to that
Yeah.
so quick, and
Yes.
not that that's a bad thing. I just think a lot of times when I sit down with someone who is the bully or who has been
Yeah.
labeled that, there's just some surprise on their face from time to time of like, people are calling me that, or and not that they're totally innocent or anything like that. So I think a direct conversation with the students who are being bullied to kind of understand is there any other core issue here that's happening with the student that's being bullied, just, are there some deeper things, are there some sensitivities that you need to be aware of, and then a conversation with the bully of, are there some core issues around that, you know, or who are you?
Because it's
or
not
why
just
is
the
this happening?
behavior.
Totally.
There's something that's motivating. There's some kind of insecurity. Have a horrible life at home, or they're just so wanting approval that's the only way that they can get some kind of attention. I mean, there is something that drives that.
Yeah.
Definitely. And I think sometimes too we rally around the kids who are being bullied, which is an okay thing.
Makes
I think.
sense.
Yeah.
But I had a conversation with the parents today about a scenario about a boy who's coming to our camp, and so
Because you leave for junior high camp on Monday.
Junior high camp on Monday.
Couple
and
days.
So, you know, I just in my heart I know he's struggling. You know, and
With being bullied.
behavior. No, he is the bully.
Oh, he's the bully.
So he's got some strong behavior and some things that were. But
Yeah.
I don't want to give up on him either. You know what I mean? I think he needs us, and he needs this too. So I think it's figuring
Put him
out
in
how
Ron's
to care individually for the bullied kid and the bully as well. And if you need to bring parents in, I think sometimes parents are unaware of what's happening too behaviorally. So I don't know. Just honest conversation.
Yeah, it's good.
It's hard. It sucks, but it's worth it.
And a side thing, I mean, that's the way to go. But it's also worth talking about when you do messages or
teaching,
when you do
relationships, community.
Expectations before summer camp or something like that. Like talk about it, put it into your water system.
We did a message. It's called "I Am Blank," and one of the weeks of that series, it's on DYM. It was "I Am a Bully," and we talked about bullying in the fall, and it was really, really interesting. People were like, "Whoa, we're talking about bullying in church."
Yeah,
because that isn't something we have addressed in the past. Quite honestly,
it's all over our kids' school. There's posters and everything all over the place.
It is such a buzz catch thing, and people do jump there so quickly. But
it's like the new "Don't Smoke." You know, there's just this whole campaign.
Don't smoke.
Don't do. You know,
when was the last "Don't Smoke" campaign?
Exactly,
it was
it's
like,
successful.
It was
so now
just
they
say
don't
no
do
when we
anymore.
were in
say
school.
no. This is your brain on. This is your fried eggs on.
This is your Friday on drugs.
Don't
What?
smoke.
I got McBee to stop his work for a second.
Wow.
But you know what I'm talking about. You didn't have that when you were in school. They were passing out cigarettes in the hallways when you were.
The Marlboro Man. Was
Yeah,
like, there
exactly. There
You
you
go.
go. Here you go. You got an A today. Good job.
Good job.
This is from.
You know what that reminds me? Let kids smoke at your outreach events. Just make sure the guy with the. Just was visualizing that.
Now that you've done inside humor for the 5th time today, we'll have
more.
we'll have footnotes and explain Matt's humor to those that don't
No,
get
we
it.
get a nice little subtitle or something.
Yeah.
Horizontal stripes.
Little encyclopedia
This is
of
from
Matt.
Troy. It says, I'm currently working in a church of 1,000 plus. I'm the junior high minister currently.
You got this one. I'm gonna sit back.
My boss, the high school minister,
I'm back in.
will be transitioning out of the
I'm
job,
back out.
and I was asked to fill the spot. It's exciting, but also scary. I'm 22 years old, been ministering full-time for 2 years, have been praying for confidence to know if I am ready. Any tips to know if I am ready? Or any tips on how to earn the trust and respect of the students and parents despite my age? Thanks for the show. Sorry, Matt.
Just
Just
sorry.
a
Just
general
sorry.
sorry.
For
Sounds
you.
like you need to feel sorry for yourself.
Wow.
I love
22.
it. 22. So is it safe to say you're not ready?
No.
And that's okay.
Well, I don't know if you're ever ready. I mean,
That's what I mean.
Come on,
You're not ready.
You could do what Doug did before he was 30. Grew a mustache, so people thought he was older.
The tombstone.
That was in my 30s. Mustache was in my 20s.
I did
Do
the
you
goatee.
want to do high school ministry? I mean, I guess that would be my
There
question.
you
Yeah,
go. There you
calling.
go. There's
Yeah.
the junior high pastor
Like,
going, wait, why
I mean,
is that
I
a
don't
promotion?
know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not.
Well, I do like the attitude of asking for help, like the sign of humility and wanting to be a learner. Like the fact that you're even asking says you are more
Yeah, you're
ready.
leagues ahead of most 22-year-old youth
Yes,
workers.
precisely.
You know.
So good on
That's
you for
awesome. Calling is a huge part of it. Do you feel like
so.
just to have a, in the eyes of the world or the church world, that like, oh, the high school pastor is a step up from the junior high. You gotta do what you're called to do. And if you feel like, you know what, my time in junior high, it probably could be done, and I'm looking for a new challenge, and to be able to oversee a junior high person and yada yada, then that's great. That's great. I think with what Josh was saying about the hey, I think it's great that you're asking for advice and feedback. Keep that attitude. There's going to be leaders in that ministry and parents in that ministry that if you were to go to them and say, hey, I'd love your feedback. I'd love if you see something, not that you want to give everybody in the church free reign to run your ministry by committee, but to be open to feedback is really important.
Yeah, 22 years old is real young. It's young to lead a ministry at a church that size. I see, people ask me maybe every day is too much of an exaggeration. Twice a week, I'm looking for, do you know anybody who would come work at our church? I'm always getting people asking. And when I see some of the job descriptions, I look at some of these job descriptions and go, I don't know if I'm qualified, for that job. Expectations are unrealistic. So I think if you go in with a sense of humility, don't build the ministry around you. At 22, I would latch on to my older volunteers. I would quickly recruit some parents, ask them if they would be on your team, even just say for a year season. Chances are they'll fall in love with youth ministry and outlast you there. But I would get some other people around you that have a little age and a little wisdom that could help you with some, don't feel like you got to, humility always wins. Don't feel like you got to build this thing around you.
I don't know. I mean, obviously we don't know the situation. And I know that sometimes when we're offered a position, there's kind of that piece that we're honored or we're flattered. And so there are times where just because we're offered a job, just because you're offered something doesn't mean you have to take it. If you're on the front end of things being great in junior high, something about ministry, ministry always cycles and it's all about timing. And this isn't the only time you're going to be, chances are, offered or have the opportunity to do a position like this. And at 22, maybe continue to put down roots in junior high and grow and in a place where you've got a little bit of built up credibility and things like that. You don't have to make a shift just because people want you to make a shift.
I'll just throw out one more thing on top of it. I would just say make sure you have a mentor, somebody who is watching your ego, listening to your voices, protecting you, just has an eye for your growth and just for your wisdom. Because I think a lot of people early on in ministry make some really big mistakes and they can hide things really well and it goes to your head and all those things. It's just dangerous at any age of youth ministry.
For sure.
But I think especially right here, right now, you got to surround yourself or at least have a very key significant leader in your life too.
Yeah. And when you jump into this, that you got to be humble. I would say it's beyond. Hey, it would be good if you could be humble. I think it's essential. That is an attractive thing in leadership, and that's the way to be a leader. It's not humility to totally lack confidence, and to be like, oh, I don't really know what I'm doing here, or I'm terrible at this, or I don't know if I'm ready. But if you're going to jump in, be confident without being cocky, and be humble without lacking conviction that you're the one that God's telling you to do it.
It's good. Chris Riviera writes in, said, just saw this today. At first, I thought it was a small hiccup in the video. I thought it was a mistake. Then I said to myself, wait a minute, youth worker, geeky, probably not a mistake. Yep, nice job there, Parker. Parker was on the show last week. Last time we did it. Yeah. And who was it? Me and Parker and you?
I was there.
And you. Parker took Matt's place. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
He ended with the condom story.
Oh,
yeah.
That was a funny. Did you watch the show?
I didn't even know you did a show without me.
Yeah, we've done a whole bunch.
Well,
this is 250 episodes, just so you know.
Yeah, 249.
249.
But anyway, so
are we going to Hawaii for our 250th?
On the Parker
next week.
On the show, Parker writes his name, host Parker. Parker's awesome. So he did a little bit of a geek,
yeah.
Parker.
Yeah,
That's
Parker.
good.
Parker's having a baby.
Yeah.
Today might be the day.
Hey, speaking of cute and baby.
What if the baby came on the podcast?
Leader Treks.
Gross.
They're doing refuel retreats.
No, not on the during the podcast.
Leader Treks is doing the refuel retreats. They're back again this year, better than ever. They're going to be louder, bigger, and more stressful than... No, just kidding. Refuel retreats exist to bring coaching, clarity, and community back to youth worker training. At Refuel, you get to discuss principles you're learning with other youth workers, and we're purposely built in time for you to relax during your stay. This is Doug. You spend the time with Doug Franklin, who is our friend. Refuel retreats are going to be in 5 different locations: Northeast Ohio in October, just north of Dallas in November, the coast of South Carolina in early March, southeastern Texas in late March, and the mountains of Keystone, Colorado in April.
Why no California? What's that about?
It's too fast paced.
It's not refreshing enough.
It's not refreshing.
Check out refuelretreat.com.
Yes.
All right.
Cool.
We love our sponsors.
Yes.
This is from DYM Early
It sounds
Adopter.
like we don't love our sponsors. We really do. I mean, these guys are great. You just it was so like we love our sponsors, but we really.
Listen to you. Like, wow,
You're
what a
like being the heart right
what
now.
a
It's
pastoral
weird.
edge. This something's changed.
I'm gonna sit back on that. I don't know what to do with
I'm
it.
out. I'm back in.
22 right now.
I'm so 22.
Susie Ralph, who has showed up to all of our student leadership
Yeah.
conferences except for this one. Can you see why?
Oh,
Okay,
she's having a
why?
baby.
Baby bump.
She's having a baby. First I noticed
That's
the baby, then I
more than a
noticed
bump.
that she's by her bookshelf, and I noticed purpose-driven
Your
youth
book.
ministry right there.
She intentionally did that so you could see the bump
Totally.
and the books.
The book.
There
and
you
the
go.
bump.
She says, you can quote me on this. I'd rather have my arm cut off than lose my DYM membership. And we will quote her on that.
Whoa. We
That's
will. We're
funny.
gonna put that in big print somewhere.
She says, I'm
Severed
seriously
arm.
bummed that I didn't go to student leadership this year. The picture attached might explain why. I'm 36 weeks pregnant. Our first child is coming. I'd be interested to hear from Katie.
Oh,
Katie.
How do you do
Katie's
ministry
had
with
kids.
a baby?
So let's see how
Wanna
long
be
Matt
on
can go without talking. If
I'll go the rest of the show.
if Katie has any advice on how to do this whole mom youth pastor thing. I'm used to having a flexible schedule without children. Should I step back from a lot of extra things or take the baby with me and try to keep up with what I've already been doing? My husband's also on staff at the church, not just in youth ministry. I'm going to take 6 weeks off. She puts that in quotes. I will still be available via phone and email. Maybe I'll become a rewinder during those 6 weeks.
Love it. You
That's
could
great.
almost do a whole show on this, right? There's a lot
There's a lot.
to think through in this stage of life.
Yeah, I mean, a couple things that, a couple of encouragement. I mean, I would take more than 6 weeks off. You only have your first baby once, or all of your kids once, and so, spend
Most of the
the
time.
time with them. Ministry will be there. It will be, and if God has called you and wants you to be doing ministry, then He will make it happen for you. And I think for me, I know that I'm called and I'm committed to ministry, and God has always been faithful in that. And so He's been faithful in creating this village that's around us, that has supported us and is also raising our kids with us, and has put me in a place where I've always had bosses and mentors who value family. And so family has been able, my kids have grown up coming to, Abby's been to 9 different countries on mission trips and summer camps and all sorts of things. So family is a part of who we are. I love that our students get to see me as a mom. I love it. I think it is such a great picture for them to see me married and with my kids, and I've just had my junior hire come through, which has been awesome as well. So all I will say is that if God wants you in ministry, then He will help figure out all of the details. There's stepping back in all different seasons, which you guys do as dads. There's some seasons where you are able to maybe be at a few things in a different capacity, and then there are seasons where your kids need you in a different way, and you do step back from stuff. So I have great volunteers and I have great people that I work with that also enable me to be a mom. So like I said, but that's all orchestrated by God. So God's faithfulness in my life and in my calling makes ministry possible. And I think I'm as great of a youth pastor as a mom as I was before I was a mom. So yeah.
You're better.
I think so. It's
I
richer.
think she's
It's
Yeah.
richer. I gotta tell you, like as a mom, it
You
is
have
a
more
richer
insight. You're more
experience,
compassionate. You're
the parent piece, like working with parents.
Yes.
As a parent, it's lovely. It's
Yeah.
just so cool to have that insight, and even now to be a mom of a teenager. I have a teenager in Josh's ministry now, and it's awesome to have that kind of camaraderie with parents and that kind of understanding. It's lovely. So
It's almost like the Bible knows
I
what
love
it's
it.
talking about when it says
Almost.
elders ought to have children, obey them.
it's cool.
That was really
Talk a
good.
little bit. I mean, this isn't necessarily her question, and I know that this is to be any kind of a leader, you always get criticism. But to be a woman who works in a vocation, not just ministry, but there's going to be people that say, hey, why don't you, how come you don't stay home? So speak a little bit to that.
I don't know if you remember this. When I came back from maternity leave with Abby, I mean, this was years ago, and I was on your team at the time when I came back, and someone had written an anonymous letter to me saying, and put it in kind of our mailbox at church, and had said,
oh, I do remember that.
I can't believe that
I was
you
so
are
pissed.
coming back to work.
I'm still
your
angry.
First ministry is
I've never heard
your
that.
baby. This is, you know, just really ugly stuff.
Yeah.
And I think I like went into your office and just kind of fell apart, and I was like, I don't know what to do. You know, you're already so vulnerable as a parent, not even just a mom, a parent in general, and you already have those moments of like, am I doing it right? Is this
you're
okay?
trying to figure out what God's calling you to do.
Totally, first kid, and so it
Was
was
I
really
nice?
awesome. You were,
I was going to say, hopefully history
actually,
will judge you well right here.
and I think you had taken it straight to Pastor Rick even, and because Rick got involved, and I remember both of you being very firm and loving to me of, if this is what you're called to and this is what God has laid on your heart, and you know you are obeying God, then that's all that matters, you know. And Ron and I were so sure about that, and have never looked back at that moment again, because we feel like me being in ministry is, well, us being in ministry as a family is our obedience to God and what God is asking of us. And like I said, our family, our kids don't feel like they are missing out or have sacrificed. If anything, I think they have this rich experience and are part of this rich community that I don't even know that we would have that if we weren't doing what we were doing. So, you know, I think there is criticisms of, I think, working moms in particular, and can you do it? And I would say with God, you know, in that obedience piece to God, yes, you can do it. Because, again, He is orchestrating, and He is being faithful to our kids, and He's being faithful to Ron and I and to that decision. And we revisit.
And you're being faithful to the calling.
Absolutely.
On your life.
What God's we're
that's,
doing what God's asking of us, and I think that's a big part of it. And
your faithfulness is so
that,
much
like
more
anybody,
important than anyone
you know?
else's criticism.
We have those moments where okay, God, is this still what you wanted?
Save it for the calendar.
That's a great line, Matt.
What did you say?
I was interrupting. I'm sorry.
You did interrupt, but it was worth it.
It was just conversation.
No, it wasn't worth it.
It was not worth
when
it.
he
No,
interrupts.
anytime anybody interrupts Katie, I would like to just ask for forgiveness for the whole podcast.
Katie, thank you for sharing
community.
that and your
No, it's
heart,
good.
too,
I would just
honestly.
say,
I think more youth workers need to hear that. That's good stuff.
I love being a mom and a youth pastor. It's great. And there's crazy times. We have the perfect storm where my mom world collides with ministry, and all of those things collide at times. But again, God has just been so faithful, and it's all cool.
Yep.
I just couldn't imagine staying home 6 weeks with the baby. Just 7 weeks.
You have a hard
8
time with
weeks.
6 hours.
That's not true.
That is
With
true.
a newborn,
Kids,
I mean, come
everybody,
on.
get your electronics.
It's all play.
Get on the couch. I'll be in my office
if they
playing
had a
World of
baby
Warcraft.
iPad
Baby, here's
for
your iPad, baby.
My kids are stoked tonight because we have one of our youth activities tonight is ice skating. So they all woke up, we're having breakfast, whatever. And I said, guys, we're all going ice skating tonight. And they're like cheering and so excited because we don't go ice skating that much. And they love it. And we're going with the youth group.
That much.
So, well, I'm not a big ice skater.
There's no lake effect
Me
weather
on a
out
little
here.
piece of metal on ice, that just seems terrible. So then I saw some of my youth group kids today, and I was like, hey, my kids are coming tonight to ice skating, and they cheered.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
so
in my
fun.
heart, I'm like going, yes, this is the best part of youth ministry, and let it all collide, let it be messy. Like,
Do you have any fear that they're going to fall and then one of those just lop all the fingers off?
oh yeah, but they get a cool robotic hand, they'll be fine.
Yeah, it would be great.
And a
Just
great
like
story.
Luke Skywalker.
And the story, of
And
youth
probably
ministry
tons of
forever.
speaking engagements, right?
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah. Increased honorariums.
That's right.
This
there's.
is my son.
I wouldn't.
One arm.
I love seeing you guys with your kids and youth ministry, and
fun.
you know.
Well, that
I
was
mean,
Speaking about
modeled
bullies.
to us,
I agree.
you know, I mean, thank goodness that we had leaders that modeled that to us. I mean, you modeled that, you know, to us from as a high school student, you know, seeing you with your, you know, Tori at 3 years old. I mean, that's when I met you, and so cool, you know, and to grow up in a youth ministry where you look at someone, you think that's possible, like,
Right, it can be done.
I can
It
have
be done
family
well.
and do ministry, and that's like such a cool thing,
yeah,
you know. So.
yeah, it's great. Susie, I hope you paid attention. I know you did, and you got some good answers. Susie also remember a couple webcasts ago we said, why don't we get our webcast community to write in answers to questions? So there was questions about what do I do if students are not singing, bad worship team, a comment on goosechase.com. But I was thinking, do we, in
Post
the
this
old
on the
days,
blog,
we used
yeah.
to post this on the Youth Ministry Garage. Now that we,
Yeah, let's post it on the DYM blog. That's great. Just
There's
as
a
an aside,
forward button. If you just forward the email to Griff, he'll make it happen.
Thank
Just
you.
as an
That's a good
aside,
idea.
the Goose Chase app that we talked about, it's like a Instagram scavenger
What
hunt
in the
thing.
world? Oh, yeah.
We talked about it a couple shows
Yeah.
ago. We have gotten so many tweets. I blogged about it as well. So many tweets, comments, likes. People are loving that. Totally free app.
And it came in from one of
And it
one
came
of
in
our,
from someone on the
yeah.
show.
I'm
Yes.
totally bored with that conversation.
You know what?
Now you know how we feel when you talk.
Still keep listening.
Oh, guys, I got to go to ice skating tonight,
Yep.
and I'm excited.
Max and Mark got their first practice.
My
It's
kids are
happening in
stoked.
11 minutes.
That's good.
That's
All right, last question.
Here we go. Matt,
oh, I got to text me.
I'm sorry your position was attritioned.
Nice.
Oh,
That's good.
I like that.
My name is Keith
That's
Hurt
what it does.
from Violet, not Violent, Baptist Church in Pickerington, Ohio, just outside of Columbus.
Violent Baptist Church would be pretty awesome and descriptive. of
Pretty accurate,
many
right?
Baptist churches in the Midwest. Keep going.
What are your thoughts on taking visitors? You're so stupid.
Hey, I'm a man of the Midwest. It's okay. I can make fun of them.
A man of the Midwest.
It's an
What did you
interesting
do?
badge.
What did you do? Did you
Interesting
go like
badge
that?
you
What
wear.
did
Just
you?
gave my
He gave his
hardcore
Midwest
violent
kinda
Baptists some props right there.
Tipping his
That's
hat
all.
to the Midwest.
That's right, Westboro.
Tip-
What are your thoughts?
Okay.
What are your
Wow.
thoughts on taking visitors on overnight youth trips?
Visitors?
Visitors on overnight youth trips.
Yes.
Do you have any stories of how this has backfired or been successful? What guidelines have you put in place about providing scholarships to students outside of your group for them to attend youth events away from their campus? Do you provide 100% scholarships, or do you require them to cover some of the costs so that they are invested in the event?
I'll start on the scholarship one. I'll let you guys marinate on the other one. Our scholarships,
marinate it,
we only do up
ready
to
to go.
half scholarships. It's just something we started to do the last few years, and that has been very helpful. We used to do full ride scholarships, 3/4, half, whatever, and regardless of other factors, we say the most you can get is half, and we just want them to have some skin in the game. We want them to have some investment, and so when we paid for everything, they
Didn't we
didn't
have
have
that?
any connection to the event,
buy-in.
and they would also bail at the last second. And now we've got money and reservations and whatever, so we want them to have a little buy-in. We want to help. We totally want to help, and to be honest, it does help us stretch the dollars a lot further. So if you're only
And you encourage them to make payments afterwards, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
So payment plans were game changing, and half scholarships have been really helpful.
You know, one of my favorite things this summer has been Josh now having a junior hire, knowing that
How
stuff in youth
expensive
ministry
our
is
junior high
expensive.
ministry is? No.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love
It
that.
is
I know.
really
I love
awesome.
that.
I don't
I know.
even care. You know,
Do
true
they
story,
not have that?
Christian-
Do
I
they
will
not
have-
have that fund anymore, where it's you get to send staff kids for free?
No, we don't. We don't get.
There used to
send
be
our kids
someone in the
free.
church that would give just so staff kids could go to
Here's
stuff for
true
free.
story though. Christian's camp leader, they're going to camp on Monday. Already texted him, called him, wants to go to a movie tomorrow, like
That's
pre-camp
beautiful.
hangout.
Guardians
with
of
a
the
couple
Galaxy?
buddies. I asked. It's
I'm telling
PG-13.
you, my training was stellar.
It was so good, and so he's like, "Hey, can I get Christian's number?" And I'm like, "Yes, you can. This is awesome."
Yeah, he's great.
So I'm stoked. Anyhow, sorry. All right, what
great.
about
It's expensive.
visitors?
I think
overnight.
Am I allowed to talk at this point?
Oh my
what was
gosh,
the part
no,
I was
like-
supposed to be
like
quiet?
there's-
Part I check out now.
Yeah, that's right.
Do
I
do
can't
you want
remember.
me to
what am I
have it on?
supposed
Do
to
you want me
do?
to just do this when you can talk? When
Yeah,
you
just
can't
do
talk?
that and tell me when I'll be
Say
ready
what
to
you
go at
wanna
any
say.
Just
point.
lift on
Okay.
it.
You can talk.
I can talk now.
That was very insightful.
I
Oh,
think it's.
that totally worked.
Hey, I follow directions.
Yo,
I'm
you
watched
do
on.
not. Sorry.
Look,
why'd
taking
you get canned?
taking
Personality?
visitors-
Performance?
and
integrity.
Visitors, go.
Humility?
Sandpaper. Keep going. Abrasiveness.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, I got a low blood sugar today. Just kidding. I don't even know what that means.
Stripes.
Visitors. I think you want to have visitors. He just got me with that for some reason. I can't even focus.
I
I think you want to have visitors come to just about anything that you're doing. I think if it's something that's far away, if it's a big event, obviously you want the parents to consent and know what's happening and if permission forms or whatever. But I think you
Anything?
on just about anything. I think you want to have kids
Overnight
visitors.
fasting?
Well, and
30-hour
And prayer service?
But if they want to come,
Yeah.
it says allow kids. But I would say for the scholarship thing, I think the scholarship thing is you do. I think you want to be strategic with that. I think if you're doing something that is more on the discipleship end, that you should probably take some of your core kids for scholarship before you take a visiting kid that is not going to care or not going to engage. I think if it's a summer camp and an outreachy type event thing, and one of your core solid kids, they aren't bringing any friends, and it's like, you know what, we're not going to scholarship you to this because. You got to be delicate in how you say that, and hey, this is the purpose, and man, this is the front door to our ministry. You're already connected, but I think it depends on what you're doing. It influences the filter of your scholarship, not necessarily dictates the scholarship, but just influences.
Well, again, if you don't have kids in the youth ministry like you guys now do, I think sometimes you don't realize that parents care deeply. Not every parent.
Yeah.
Parents care deeply about where their kid's going, what are they doing.
Yeah.
So if it's an overnighter, you have to take all the mystery away for the parents.
Answer all the questions.
If my daughter, one of my kids is going to something
Just
at
like
another
we never did on the guys' trips.
another church or another even faith or something, Cody in high school or junior high or something, the Mormons had great dances, and he would go to the Mormon dances, and I didn't care if they went to the Mormon dances with their friends, but I knew what was happening. So if you take the mystery away, here's what's going, here's the FAQ. Yeah, those Mormons.
I would go to a Mormon dance.
Anyway,
Hey, Wes, I got you.
Did you just do a kiss now? What is he?
homeschool? I got you.
Christian, follower of Jesus, part of the remaining?
Yeah.
No.
Wait a minute.
It light in the midst of darkness. Anyway,
Where are we going?
I don't know. Let's
All I
end this
heard
thing.
is keep your parents informed. Half scholarship people,
Way
Know
to
the
bring it
purpose
back.
of your event. Take visitors on, on things that you
Yeah.
think.
and
but-
maybe do a fasting and prayer night.
yeah,
Show's over.
with
Love it.
visitors.
All right.
Give everyone a scholarship.
Basically, you have no more problems with your youth ministry.
Send your questions to webshow at Download Youth
I
Ministry.
thought we were going in the middle.
Webshow at Download Youth Ministry.
Yep.
Send them there. And Katie, have a great time at camp.
Yeah.
Josh,
Take care of
good
my
to
boy.
see you.
Thank you.
Matt, sorry you got canned.
I'm not.
Sorry, your position was attrition. I like that.
Oh, man.
Oh, we didn't even talk about the
Katie did it
DYM
now.
T-shirts.
That's
right.
Say it for
We
the
need
show.
to do a Katie then and now.
We'll get
I'm just going to start thinking
we'll get
about
the
it.
DYM T-shirts later.
What do you mean
next time.
DYM t-shirts? What are you talking about?
Sorry you
You
weren't here.
Save it for the.
If you care.